So during the Second World War, all of these lovely buildings here were all used as administration buildings for the war, and they were bombed out, and a lot of them were closed in the Second World War. This is the Maritime Museum. This is where the head of our naval actually commanded what our navies were going to do throughout the First and Second World Wars, which is right there. But it got, at the end of the Second World War, these all got closed, and it was just a dock. But in 1972, because of industry was taking over, and obviously factories and all that kind of thing, in the industry age took over, the docks weren't needed anymore. So what then happened was they closed, and they were pretty desolate for quite a number of years. In fact, they were desolate, most of them, from the Second World War, and were only functional docks from the ports on each side. And I'll tell you an interesting fact. It was, despite this being a Labour city, it actually was a Tory minister by the name of Michael Heseltine that brought the money that galvanised the rejuvenation of the docks. Margaret Thatcher wasn't interested in putting any money into the northern powerhouse of Liverpool or Manchester. And they also had a socialist who was in charge of the Labour Party called Derek Hatton, who believed that as a working place, Liverpool didn't need any money, so therefore didn't have any investiture in anything cultural. But Michael Heseltine refused completely to allow that to happen, and it's a bit of a fishbone in the throat for a lot of Scousers, but conservative right-hand man of Margaret Thatcher went to the EU in Europe and said, we cannot let these industries go, we cannot let these beautiful buildings, these heritages of our powerhouses of the north that have helped us so much in history. And he went to the EU, and the EU commissioned the money for all of the docklands to be rejuvenated. And that happened in the very early 1980s, just after the Toxteth riots. Margaret Thatcher was quite prepared to wipe her hands of Liverpool and Tottenham and Manchester, where there'd been a lot of racial tension, because she brought a lot of tension by taking away a lot of people's rights, unions' rights, massive unemployment, and racial tension was huge.